Well, hi everyone. My name is Megan, and I am a key account manager here at Statista. I work with Susan. Susan is your representative for all matters for WiLS and higher education. I am the representative for K-12 as well as public libraries. So if we have any K-12 folks or public librarians on the line, that'd be awesome. And then any questions, if you are from a university or a college, you can pass that along to Susan. But we work in tandem, so if you email either of us, we can point you in the right direction. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about our platform. I'll give you an overview. And if at any point there's something that if I went too fast, or if there's something you want to see, just tell me to pump the brakes and I'd be more than happy to go back and show you. But for now, I'm just going to go into the platform, and any questions, you just, like I said, just feel free to take yourself out on mute or type in the chat box. I'm sure Susan can quickly help answer if she's still on the line. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go into the platform. So a little bit of a background on Statista. We give educators, faculty, students, librarians access to information across 170 industries and over 150 countries. There's over 1 million multidisciplinary statistics with 300 to 400 new statistics added daily. This is where folks can access over 21,500 infographics, 80,000 topics pages, over 160 country reports covering various industries, especially emerging industries. We also have citation tools available in APA, MLA, Blue Book, Harvard, and Chicago. And we also have global comparison tools covering consumer markets, e-commerce markets, countries, and more. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a key term, just a broad search term. I'm going to go into media consumption and hit the search button. From here, I get my results, and this is where you want to start filtering. So here's just the regular search results. You can sort this by relevance, data publication, and the popularity. Also, a location focused in the United States. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and this is where you can also filter by countries and territories, regions, a specific industry, publication date, as well as the archive. We always have the most recent relevant statistics, but in case if somebody wants to see a little bit more historical data, something a little bit past 2015, you are able to access that from there. So I'm going to filter by topics. Topics are the best place to start when maybe a student is given a particular topic to cover, but they don't know where to start. Maybe it's a very broad topic. The topics page, really great. I'm going to go into media use in the United States. And from here, this is everything that has to do with media use in the United States. Everything is segmented out. So here are some top statistics and all the segments that have to do with media consumption. This also connects people with key figures, some quick facts. So what's going on, newspaper, share of newspaper audience. As you scroll down, here are some related topics, just really, putting together that research, connecting you with other related topics. Oh, I want to start with media use. Maybe I want to delve further in the newspaper industry or the magazine industry. Some various infographics on this particular topic, as well as some other studies. So I'm going to go into our statistics. Typically, folks come to Statista for the statistics, and then they stay for the expert tools and the reports that are available on our platform. So I'm going to go with time spent with digital versus traditional media in the United States. And from here, the statistic is very easy to read, comprehend, and it can be exported into 4 different ways. So PDF, Excel, high-res image, and a PowerPoint. I'm going to download that PowerPoint really quickly. All right. So when somebody downloads the PowerPoint from the platform, they're given this really nice cover sheet, as well as different formats. So line graph, bar graph, a little bit of background on the statistic. And with a campus license, what's included in the campus license are the republication rights. So a student, a teacher, whoever can download this statistic, and it's not just a static image. They can change what's on here to fit their what their needs for their reports and their day-to-day work. So obviously a student might want to change the color or the font to make it a little bit more jazzier. They can take out this Statista logo. But what's also really great is, not a static image. They can take, say their report only calls for, the last couple of years. They can filter by that. Oops, started scrolling too fast. So they can filter by that. They can take this slide and put it right into their presentation that they're working on. And what's really great is at the bottom of each slide, there's the source and the link to find it on the Statista platform. So going back to the Statista platform, you'll see that we always include our source to the original where we aggregated this from. So if it's something that we included, we'll show you where you can also find more information on the platform. This is something we aggregated from eMarketer, and somebody can click on it and they can take a look into the article behind where we got this data. It has a podcast. So this is really great for, a student to continue their research. It's leading them down a nice and relevant rabbit hole. They're not going to end up on some conspiracy website. Everything that we aggregated has been checked and vetted from our data experts. This is also where a student can see where these little quotation marks, these are the citation tools. So if this is something that they want to use in their reports, they can just copy, paste, put it right into that works cited page. It's done correctly, and this can also guide them as they are adding more materials in their works cited page. This is what the correct APA format is. Want to make sure that everything else looks like that. So that is a little bit about the statistics. The next thing I'm going to show are our dossiers. So we're back to that search page, filtered by topics. I wanted to go and filter by dossiers. This is where people can access over 7,000 dossiers, and we like to call this our greatest hits of statistics. So it's a compilation of the best and most relevant statistics. I'm going into the coronavirus, the impact on media consumption in the United States. And this time I'm going to download it as a PDF. So these are statistics that can be found on Statista, just compiled in a nice, clean booklet form. So here's the table of contents, and everything is all segmented out on the different forms of media consumption. And there's a link to this particular statistic. So US Cable News Network, coronavirus viewership impact. Can click on that and it takes me right to the statistic I was interested in taking a look at. And from there you can see, oh, I like this. You can scroll down and get more information on this is in the TV and streaming video on demand consumption. So this just gives all of the highlights, what's going on in this market. And if a student really likes this particular statistic, they can click on the ID and it'll bring them to that statistic in the Statista platform. And from there, maybe they want to download it as a PowerPoint or an Excel and create their own graphs, or if they just want to learn a little bit more from that source, they're able to do so. But the dossiers is a great way to just look at all of the most relevant statistics. So that is a little bit about our statistics. That's the main reason people typically find us. Before I go into some of our expert tools and some of our reports, does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. Can everyone hear me? I have a sign that says my microphone is muted. But I don't think it's muted.
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah, I just got a pop-up that said my microphone was muted. I'm like, did I just talk for 21 minutes and nobody heard me? You guys can't be shy when it comes to tech errors. If you can't see something, you got to tell me. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to talk a little bit about our industry reports. So our industry reports, they consolidate the most important info on various industries in a very detailed report, and they show the most important and insightful data about the status quo within the industry. So this database will help users understand how to break into a particular market, or maybe understand how an industry has performed over time. Our industry reports, they're characterized by the NAICS code. So if you have the NAICS code in mind, you can do a search by that. But they connect you with a macro level overview of a specific industry. We've consolidated the most important info on hundreds of industries worldwide. So let's look at one of the reports together. I'm going to go with apparel. Apparel. Just wanted to see if that came up first. So I want to know a little bit more about the apparel market, and I want that industry report. So right here is one of our filters, the industry and country reports. So we have 7 of those. So this one's manufacturing, fashion, and textiles in the US 2020. So I'm going to click onto that. And here is just the outline of what's in this report. There's a lot of pages in this report. So I'm just going to show you the table of contents and a couple of the first pages. All right, so this is everything you need to know about manufacturing, fashion, and textiles in the United States. So here we go. We have an executive summary, table of contents, so what's included in here, an introduction to this particular industry. So here's some important key figures. How much is this industry worth? How many companies are there? How many people in the thousands does this industry employ in this particular country? A SWOT analysis. This is a reoccurring theme when it comes to intro to business courses, when you need to figure out what is what are my strengths, my weaknesses when entering an industry for the first time. An industry definition, as well as the NAICS codes and some subcategories. So what are we including when we're talking about fashion and textiles? We're also including these subcategories as well. And some financial numbers. Just some quick key facts. So this report, I think it's almost like 100 pages long. So I'm not going to go too far into that. Oh, okay, this is only 53 pages long. So those are our industry reports, just a way to get that bird's eye overview of the industry as a whole when it comes to the countries. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of our market outlooks. Our Outlook tools are a unique and comprehensive forecasting tool. It's exclusive to Statista. This is all our own research, and it's just a really great overview, whether you're looking for some forecasts and insights into consumer goods, digital goods, a country as a whole, or a particular industry. The first thing I'm going to go into is our consumer market outlook. And this presents key performance indicators such as sales, revenue, and prices of the most important consumer markets worldwide. And the purpose of this tool is just to help people understand an industry in a specific country. So I'm going to go to our consumer market outlook. I'm going to go into the market directory. Just give you an idea of how many different consumer goods we cover. We're constantly updating this database. For example, as I'm scrolling down, in OTC pharmaceuticals, there's hand sanitizer. 6 months ago, we didn't have hand sanitizer in there, but because the world has changed, we updated it because people wanted to know I want to see how hand sanitizer has performed due to COVID-19. Everything here has been updated to reflect COVID-19. So everything that we forecasted, everything's going to be great. And, it took a dip because of COVID. All of that has been factored in. We just updated that this summer. So I'm going to go into sticking with apparel. I'm going to go into the women's apparel market, but specifically t-shirts. So I'll click onto that market segment. And I'm automatically brought to the women's t-shirt market on a worldwide scale. But I want to specifically look at the United States. So I can filter by region, so all of the Americas. I can filter by the subregion, so North America, and then click onto that specific country I'm looking for. So now it's going to update. This is all United States information. Everything on the sheet can be downloaded as a PDF or an Excel. And we can also change the currency. So we have USD, euros, Canadian dollars. In case if anyone is interested in that could be helpful for any international business students. So here we have a couple of quick highlights of what's going on in this t-shirt market in the United States. A market definition. So what are we talking about when we say women's t-shirts? Quick, what's in this report? So we're talking t-shirts and singlets. We're not talking about bathrobes or nightwear. And as we scroll down, we can see the revenue that's been generated in this particular industry and what we have projected this out into 2025. You can also see the revenue growth. In 2020, it took a huge dip because nobody's really buying t-shirts right now during this crazy pandemic. Average revenue per capita, volume, so how many pieces were sold? So how many women's t-shirts were sold in the United States? So here's in 2020, volume growth. Again, no one's really buying t-shirts right now. It's just fell really flat. Average volume per capita, price per unit. This is a really interesting factor. So a student's putting together their business plan for the first time and they don't know what they're supposed to price their good. What this is the average price per unit in this particular product. And right now in the United States, it's $7.50. I'm in New York City, so I don't know any women's t-shirt that's $7.50, but this is taking everything in as the country as a whole. And we project that out to be $8.14 in 2025. That's good to keep in mind as you're putting together your plan and you want to have those projections out in the next couple of years and you want to consider those prices. Here's our global comparison tool. So you can get a really broad overview of where this particular country stands in this market. United States, we're #1 in women's t-shirts, followed by China. Everything here, by the way, is exportable, as you can take these as high-res images, and it's also interactive. So if you want to know how much money Russia is bringing in the women's t-shirt market, you can hover right over Brazil because it's not in the top 5. And so right here, this map can be exported as a high-res image. And there's also those citation tools again. So I really want to use this image in my report, copy, paste, put it right into the citation page. Here are some key market indicators. Depending on what market you're in, we also include some key market indicators, so different things to consider in this particular industry, in this particular market. So right now we're in the women's t-shirt market. So we have the population in the United States, but we also segmented out males versus female population, as well as consumer spending. So what are folks in the United States spending their money on? As well as tourism. Tourism and t-shirts go hand in hand. That's something to consider as well. So all of these different indicators, if you need those numbers to crunch or put it in your report, it can be downloaded as an Excel file. So that's a little bit about the consumer market outlook. The next market outlook I'm going to go into is our digital market outlook. And this has the same look, feel, and functionality as the consumer market outlook. This one, we're talking about the digital services economy. So I'm going to go into the market directory. Here's all the different segments that we cover. This time I want to go into video streaming. So I'm going to click video streaming, SVOD, streaming video on demand. Again, brought to the worldwide market, but I just want to talk about the United States right now. And we cover over 150 countries. So if you do want to know what the video streaming market is in Poland, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that. We're just going to stick with the United States for now. So again, highlights, market definition, what's in this report. We're talking about Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, those kinds of streaming services, but we're not talking about pay-per-view or anything that's supported by an advertisement. So the revenue and the revenue growth, what a surprise, it's grown because of COVID-19. Users, so how many people are streaming in the United States and how we expect that to grow over time, grow or shrink. Our outlooks, they're peppered with these analyst opinions. So they're great. They show up and they're written by our analysts. Our analysts are an expert. When they're writing this, they're an expert in this particular industry. And it's really helpful for, I see all these charts and I see all this data. What does it all mean? It's really great to refer back to that and kind of helps you go into one place, understand what they're talking about. Usage share, so who has the most market share? It looks like Netflix. This can help make a decision where, if I want to have a show or if I want to do something, where should I put it? Where am I going to get the most views? Average revenue per user, users by age. So this is where the demographics come in. This is helpful for a marketing tool or a marketing report. Okay, I have my service, but who do I need to, who am I supposed to be reaching out to? So we have the users by age, users by gender, and users by income. And again, these are interactive graphs. So if you only want to talk about 18 to 34-year-olds, you can export it as a high-res image. And there you go. The chart only includes the numbers that the demographics you want to have. Again, those global comparison tools. Right now, United States, #1 in the video streaming markets by a long shot. And then user penetration. So who's streaming? So we're making the most revenue in the United States, but who are the users? Where are they coming from? Who's streaming? So it looks like #1, United States, followed by Sweden. Again, those key market indicators are super important. So we have the population, consumer spending, but here we also added telecommunication. So if you want to be streaming videos, you need to have access to either a smartphone or a computer. So what's your access to hardware? What's your access to broadband subscription or mobile data? That's important to factor in. And again, that can be downloaded, all of those key market indicators. The next outlook I'm going to show is our advertising and media outlook. This is hot off the press. This is a brand new outlook that we've recently added. And this presents key performance indicators such as ad spending, ad revenue, and how many people are utilizing these different channels. And this is designed to help users understand trends in the advertising market so they can make a strategic promotion plan. I'm just going to quickly show social media advertising. I want the United States again. So quick highlights of what's going on with social media advertising. What is the market definition? So we're talking about ad revenue generated by social networks or business networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. What's in this report? So we're talking about ad spending as well as sponsored posts. But we're not talking about ads within online games on social networks. So like Farmville, those advertisements you see there, we're not talking about revenue generated by that or revenue generated from memberships, subscriptions, or premium fees. So here's the ad spending and how it's changed throughout the years and how we expect that to go out into 2024. Spending development, COVID had some sort of impact there. This is the split between desktop and mobile. So where is this spent, like this money getting spent? It looks like it's mobile. It takes up a large share. So this can make somebody realize, oh, maybe I should be spending more on mobile advertisements versus the desktop advertisements. That analyst's opinion is here. This is the reach by social network. So somebody could think, okay, I want to put together my advertisement plan. I want to spend, I have this amount of money. Where am I going to put those dollars towards? And again, interactive. So maybe they don't want to advertise on Snapchat or Twitter. Maybe they just want Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So these other networks, maybe they're not relevant to them. So they can get an idea of what the reach is currently and how that's expected to change over time. Average ad spending per social media user. So you just have an idea of that. Market share. Facebook just dominates that. So from this chart alone, maybe somebody would want to say, like, I'm going to put all my ad efforts into Facebook because it has a pretty big reach. And then the global comparison tool. So it looks like the United States is number one when it comes to social media advertising, followed closely behind by China. Key market indicators, population, what people are spending their money on, access to internet and hardware, but also social media usage and their penetration, as well as the company revenues of these various social networks. The last outlook I'm going to show, we have a couple more. So we have mobility market outlook, technology market outlook, the industry outlook. But I'm going to, just for time's sake, I'm going to just show quickly the country outlook. This is where students, staff, faculty, everyone can get information of, key forecasts of what's going on in a particular country. So I'm going to go into Brazil. And here's the different segments that you can choose from. So you can get an idea of what's going on in Brazil's economy, their digital economy, the environment. That could be really helpful for environmental studies, as well as society, business environment, and public sector. I'm going to go into society. So some highlights of Brazil's population and households, the definition. We also have a report, so everything with the Brazil country report. This gives all the key insights of what's going on in Brazil, and all of that information projected out to some of this. Yes, this is 2040. So this is the total population. We also have this segmented out by age, as well as gender and how it's expected to change over time. Again, can be exported. This little piece can be exported as an Excel sheet. Number of households in Brazil, the urban population, brand awareness depending on your demographics. So how much do folks with a low income who would consider themselves have a low income, how aware are they of the different smartphone brands? How does that change depending on their income? As well as the Human Development Index. So top 5 over here. Brazil's number 70, but whatever country you have, it'll always tell you what place where that country lies, as well as some other relevant key figures. Another expert tool I'm going to show you today is our business plan export. So our business plan export provides whether it's a student, staff, faculty member with structure as well as content for creating your business plan. This is where folks go to download all the relevant data that they'll need when it comes to crunching those numbers. So we're going to start our data export. We're going to pick the apparel market. We're going to do our region. Want to open this up in the United States. And now let's download this data export. Here we go. This is a blank one. So this is the cover sheet. This is where you'll put your, we always have those little help bubbles up there, but this is where somebody will say, okay, here's the currency. So USD, GBP, euros, we just want USD for now. And the year you were planning on starting your business, so 2021. And from there, everything will be, everything will start with 2021. The next tab is the data. So here is where you'll find all the various data points and key market indicators that are relevant to the market you're looking to break into. So you can filter by package. And we have in the package, you'll see all the different things that can be considered when you are looking to enter an industry. So this is apparel. So we have all the different apparel segments, but also we factor in tourism, the population, male population, female population, consumer price index. So all of that data is there. You can filter by the indicator. So if you wanted to talk about baby clothes and you just want to know their price, revenue, and volume, you can filter by that. Filter by the region. So we select the United States, but you can have it as the Americas as a whole, or just North America, or the United States, or worldwide. This is all just the various data points available to you. And then we have the data, those numbers from 2016 all the way out to 2025. If it's population, we do have that data out to 2030. But you can see baby clothes, the average price was $6 in 2016. And it stayed pretty much the same. And as time goes on, the average price gets a little bit larger. So it's just a really good way to have that data, that content. The next tab is our market tab. So this is an interactive graph that allows users to look at the broader development of this annual data. So this pulls the information from that data tab over into here. So you would choose various indicators that would be populated on the graph. Again, we have these little helpful bubbles. I'm just going to get rid of them for now. So here I want to have, this is where you'll start filtering in your different indicators. So I'm going to go do the female population. Just want the female population as a whole. Then I want sports inspired apparel. And I want for women, sports inspired apparel, women in volume. So how many pieces of sports inspired women's apparel were sold over the years. And then I want blazers, women's blazers, and how many pieces were sold over the years. So blazers, women, volume. Don't want to consider this here. So everything I type here gets populated up here. So this is 33, 34, and 35. 33, 34, 35. I'm getting rid of this data point. Everything here is kind of scaled to the billions. We're just going to have it scaled up to the 10th, just to make it look a little bit more easier to read. So you'll get those data points over here. And this chart can also be filtered by the style. So maybe I want this kind of style for the chart. And here you can just put, I only have these 3 points here, so I'm selecting that. And then I want just the last couple of years, 2020, 2023. So it's a little bit easier to read. So you can filter it down so it's just much more easier to comprehend. And as you can see, as the female population, oh, this is all on a worldwide scale. Let's change this. We only care about America, the United States right now. Okay, so as the female population in the United States, kind of the same, it's growing a little bit. As that stays the same, we can see that the sales for casual wear, sports inspired apparel, so that athleisure wear, starting to go up each year by a lot. And then as the years go on, you'll see that blazers, a much more formal wear, is the sales are going down. So the revenue of pieces sold are going down. And from there, somebody can make a decision. All right, this is why I'm justifying opening up this athleisure business, because formal wear, it looks like it's out and sports inspired apparel is in, especially when it comes to females. The next page, this is the profit and loss statement. And this is used to estimate your company's revenue and expenditures. And we included a lot of suggestions that you would want to keep in mind as you put together your plan. As you scroll down, we have everything, the revenue, the product of your products. We have 2 products here. If you want to add a third one, you can just copy, paste, and add that third product. The cost of sales. As we're scrolling down, there's the total cost, direct marketing, flyers, technology licenses. So if this is for apparel, maybe you want to focus on an inventory technology, patents. So we have everything that you could possibly think of, all those expenses that can be factored in. If you don't, you can just delete them. And in these green bubbles, that's where you would fill out your various numbers. And there's also 3 different views to this sheet. So level 3 view, which we're on right now, has all the categories and subcategories listed. Level 2 is just that condensed overview. So it has a little bit more of what's going on, the different variables. And then there's level 1, which is what you send to the big boss. Here's all that they care about. This is the summary. They just want to know about the different, where we're going to hit our numbers. I'm going to show you an example of an all filled out business plan profit and loss statement. This is what did they do? They had 2 products. This is for headphones in Sweden. So wireless headphones versus wired headphones, the different costs. So everything green, that's where you would put your numbers, and then those numbers get crunched in the blue cells. That's where the formula is. And After all of that is filled out, you go to that comparison tab. Now the comparison tab, after you put all your numbers in your market chart as well as your profit and loss statement, this is an overall summary that will allow you to see when you will become profitable, when you plan to break even, what's the revenue going to look like over the years. So here there's total sales revenue, total cost of sales, and how it plans to change over time, the net profit. And there's little prompts where you can type in, okay, this is where we plan to become profitable. So this business was supposed to start in 2019, and they plan to be profitable in 2020. And then it also takes everything from that you filled in that market modeling tab and brings it over here as well. So just a little bit of overview about the market. So general headphones market will be stagnating at inflation. The premium market will slightly increase. And just a little bit of summaries when they talk about the what's going on. So they're including the headphones revenue, headphones volume, volume of premium headphones, as well as revenue in premium headphones. So this is what it looks like all filled out. And this comparison tab is a great summary that can be copied and pasted and put into a report. So the next thing I'm going to go into is our Statista pitch deck template. So that is available with the business plan export on that same page. And our business pitch deck template is just a very large PowerPoint presentation for students to fill out with. It just provides some structure as well as prompts as if they're preparing to pitch something, whether it's to their professors or maybe this is for a overview or this big semester-long project. This is just all the content that or the structure you need. So we have the different slides. So, and here's the prompt. So what's this presentation about? Why has the audience gathered? What problems are you trying to solve? Who has the problems? So this can really help somebody prepare their pitch. So how does it work? Things that they need to start addressing right away in this pitch. How are you going to make money? The revenue streams. This is everything that they would need to know. We also have some great filled out templates. So we made examples with Airbnb, Uber, and Facebook. Sometimes that's a little bit more helpful when you see somebody else's filled out project. So anything with these red corners, those are our examples. We also have little templates for a pestle analysis, a SWOT analysis, Porter's 5 forces, or the Canvas model. I'm going to show the SWOT analysis because that is the most common one that I always see. So here's the SWOT analysis and the template, and then it addressed these questions. So where's your company the benchmark? Why do your customers prefer you instead of the competition? These are things to think about and you should say in your pitch. Weaknesses, we got to address the weaknesses first and foremost and head on. Opportunities, threats. So and then different ways to combine, okay, strengths and opportunities, weaknesses and opportunities. So lots of prompts. This can be, the slides can get deleted. They can be, things can be added in. The formats can change. It's just a really great way for taking the structure and answering the questions that you've, addressed in your business plan export. Do we have any questions so far? I just wanted to just do a little check-in, see how everyone's doing. No? Okay. All right, so if we don't, I'm just going to check the chat just in case. Okay, good. All right, so the last thing I will show is our global consumer survey. So I took you through a little bit about Statista today. It seems like a lot, but we didn't address absolutely everything. But I didn't want you to go without showing the Global Consumer Survey. And this offers a global perspective on consumer consumption, media usage. This covers online and offline behaviors. And we conducted over 700,000 interviews in over 55 countries over the last couple of years. And this tool is frequently used to cross-reference consumer behaviors with demographic information. I just saw that there was oh, never mind. Okay, so I'm going to go into Explore Now. I'm going to go into the United States. So you just select the country that you want to get an idea about. And right now I want to look at consumer behavior. So I want to know what kind of activities are being done on smartphones. So I'm going to go into the Internet and Devices tab. Smartphone activities. And I'm going to sort this because I want to see what's the most popular one right away. So here is smartphone activities. This is what we asked on the survey. Which of these things have you used a smartphone for in the past 4 weeks? So people could multi-pick, so they can add a couple of answers. And we can see right here, most people have used their smartphone for chatting or sending messages. So, and you can also compare how these activities changed over time. So we can hit compare, and then let's do from 2018, 2019, and then 2020. And switch that. There we go. So now when we go to chatting or sending messages, you can see that in 2018, only 71% of our respondents were chatting or sending messages. In 2019, that jumped to 76% were chatting or sending messages. And then in our 2020 update, 77%. So this is just a way that this can be compared over time. This can be exported as an Excel file as well, or it can be exported as a PowerPoint. The next thing I want to show, another way that the consumer survey, the Global Consumer Survey can be used is to analyze the competitive landscape. So let me just clear out all this data. So using the survey results, I want to answer some questions. Which smartphone brands are being used in the United States? How does that compare to other countries? And how does that change over time? So I'm going to go to smartphone, and then I'm going to go to smartphone by brand selection. And here's the question that we asked, smartphone brand. So what smartphone or brand are they using? And then we're going to go, and so from these results, we can see that Apple is the #1 smartphone brand, followed by Samsung. So we can also make these comparisons by country. So we just want, let's just do 2019 for now. And we want the update. Okay, so what do we want? We want the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, who else do we want? Poland and China. All right. So from these results, we can see that Apple has the highest usage in the United States, but the lowest in Poland. Scrolling over here to Samsung. So Samsung has high use in all countries but China. And then Huawei has high usage in Poland and China, but none in the United States, because I learned this earlier this year that Huawei is banned in the United States. That's why there's low usage. All right. We can also delve even further and compare the demographic profile of Apple versus Android users in terms of gender, age, living situation, etc. So that's another way of getting the demographic profile of certain users. So we're going to go into Internet and Devices, smartphone, iOS versus Android. We're also going to go into characteristics and demographics. So now we're adding in some demographics. So we want to think of demographics, gender, age and generations, income and economic situation. So we want it by low, medium, and high. So here's all of our information. Again, the questions in the survey. So what did we ask? What's your gender? How old are you? Monthly, annual household income. And this is all single pick. We're going to cross-tabulate this. We're also going to add a heat map. And the blue or something is that's where you can identify more trends. This is because we're using small results, little yes, no, 3 different factors. It's going to be a little bit more blue than usual. So gender, what is your gender? Android versus iOS. So these results show that Android is being used by more males than females. And then more females use iOS than Android. Then there's the age and generations. So you can see most Android users are 30 to 49 years old. And then the younger folks they're more likely to use iOS. Here, it's a little bit different. But this can be helpful for, okay, I want to have an advertisement, or I want to make an app, but I need my target audience is Gen Z. So I don't have enough money to make it both an iOS and an Android app. Okay, I think I'll be okay with just an iOS app. And then also household income, low, medium, and high. So iOS has a high share of users with a higher household income, whereas many Android users have a lower household income. That's probably because Android phones are very cheap. I have one. I already know, like it's a very cheap phone. So, but it's just good to see that data visualized, and those hypotheses, that you make are backed up by data. So that's it from me. Does anyone have any other questions, maybe about the Global Consumer Survey? Anything else I can address or show you while we're all together?
I had a question. This is Ashley. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, super. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way. I love Statista. But would you mind showing us what kind of company tools you have? I thought I saw in one of the drop downs, maybe there's like company reports.
Oh, yes. So we have, in our tools, we have our company database. So this is just some key insights into different companies and just some facts and figures. It could be searched. You can type in here. You can filter down by industries and countries. So we can do United States, and then let's do e-commerce, or maybe not e-commerce. Let's just do all, and we're going to click into Walmart. And here are just some quick info, like the what kind of industry it's in. So here are the annual revenue. How many people does Walmart employ? It's year-over-year growth over the last couple of years, revenue per employee, the overview, key stock performance metrics. And if anyone is an inspiring investor, they can also, we have that information over here where they can contact investor information. But it's just a great way to get an idea of what's going on, like all the key company metrics in a particular company.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anything else? Anything else anyone wanted to see? All right. Well, I will get this recording out and send it out to everybody so you can take a look at it. If you have any questions or want to see more, just let me or Susan know. And we are looking forward to connecting more. So have a great day, everybody.